this is I think it's a huge and valuable lesson. And what brings me into mind is the sentence that Bruce Lee said: "It is not daily increase, but daily decrease hacks away at the non-essential." Welcome to a new episode of the Eva Eckert podcast. I am Eva Eckert. I am your host. I am a Polish immigrant with a big heart, strong accent, kick-ass husband, and 2 beautiful kids. American entrepreneur sharing an incredible mission to inspire women around the world to take bold actions towards their dreams, passions, and desires so their life becomes more meaningful and fulfilled. I believe that the best superhero of your unique purpose is inside all of you, all of us, and we should share it with the world to make the world a better place. I hope that this episode will help you finally discover the power of self-belief and self-motivation so you can stop making the excuses and create the life you truly desire and deserve by being the upgraded version of you. Welcome to the show, guys. So if you are an entrepreneur, like me, and you feel stressed, you feel overwhelmed, you think like the work never ends, and the cortisol levels are skyrocket, this episode is for you. Because today I'm gonna teach you how to turn off and how to set up your turn off button and what really the turn off button is. But you need to stick around with me because we're going to have some cool exercise. So grab pen and paper or some journal I hope that you've been doing a journaling for the past few weeks, being here with me, learning from me, and applying what we have learned. Because listen, a lot of people in today's world, they listen to podcasts, they maybe read books, they try to educate themselves, and I know plenty of people like that educate themselves, but then don't apply it. So they have that knowledge, that incredible knowledge when you talk to them, but yet nothing is changing in their lives. So if you realize that nothing has changed so far, you need to start applying what you're learning, because otherwise it's a lost knowledge. So my huge gratitude for all of you guys who are watching, spending time, and being here with me. So let's dive in. So today I'm going to give you a couple of examples because this whole idea of this episode started with obviously a problem that exists, problem that it's so common through entrepreneurial world, through my coaching clients. And it's not like this problem disappears just from one coaching session, right? We dive into problems, into group coaching, into one-on-one. That's what we do. And with the recent things that we've been actually talking through my coaching sessions and with my coaching clients, I figured I got to put this episode out there and really see what do you guys think, how this really applies in your life, what happens in your life, what you do, what are the maybe solutions that you have, and what solutions I found and what solutions I can give you if you've been stressed. And when I mean not just stressed, I mean the work never ends. So you have the list of endless tasks and responsibilities. The list never ends. You add to that list, but what happens is, first of all, the list will never end, but then you go home and you continue doing the work. So what in my recent coaching calls, we've been diving in and discussing exactly what is the problem, like why we cannot stop working. And I believe that entrepreneurs, if you are a go-getter, if you are an ambitious person, you're gonna obviously naturally be setting up these high level goals, you want to achieve something, you're gonna go to the next level. So obviously you're gonna be adding to your list, right? That's one thing. But then you've realized that you cannot do it alone. You cannot continue doing this stuff because you're becoming overwhelmed and stressed. So as I was really discussing this with my coaching client, we were like, well, how we can really attack this when she goes to work and she becomes really not productive because she's being disturbed, constant calls, constant messages, people walking into the office. Then she comes that on the way home, she literally picks up all the calls that are still coming in. She comes home, she barely eats. And at nighttime, sometimes she takes these phone calls. And we are like, okay, that's not the life that we wanted to have. And maybe it's you right now. Maybe, you are new to business, or you maybe never even heard of this problem. I wanted to outline this because you might get into a situation like this. You might get into a point in your entrepreneurial world that it's going to be really affecting you not only mentally, but physically. And we're going to go into this. And guys, let me tell you, probably heard me saying this in previous episodes when we first opened up the Bootcamp Unboxing locations. We would work so many hours. We would work so hard, but we were not effective working. We were not effective workers. We would not set up the day how we're setting up right now. We would not really go into certain tasks, or we would not divide our days into the kill, skill, and chill modes. We would be just working without understanding that the more you work, the more unproductive you get if you don't have a break. So if you don't have a break, the productivity is going to go down. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So we were literally working from 4 or 5 a.m. sometimes all the way till 9 p.m. And we would come home so late and being exhausted. And then the pregnancy came. I remember I was pregnant. I was doing the same thing. But then when the kids came, I no longer could do this because obviously I wanted to give a time to my kids. So maybe you are an entrepreneur that actually have little kids and you're obviously running your own business and you're facing this challenge when you're always in the go mode, the kill mode, always on. And you don't find enough time for your kids, or you maybe always say, well, wait, later, I'm going to get back to you. You don't have a specific set time for your loved ones, for your kids, for your spouse. You come home stressed out. You bring this stress to your home. Then you don't even have a time to really cook dinner or sit down with your family because you're going back into your computer, answering email, responding to things. And I'm not saying that once in a while, but if this became your pattern, then this is what you do. That means that you really don't know how to relax, and you don't know how to schedule yourself. You don't know how to delegate. You don't know how to say no. And you don't know that there can be another level, and you don't know that you need to have a time off because you're going to become unproductive. The research shows us that the productivity is only within 50 to 90 minutes. And I didn't make this up. You find this in many productivity books, that this is how the productivity can last. Not only that, the more productive we are, the most productive we are in the morning. And then our productivity slows down in the afternoon drastically. I think this research was showing us like around 40 to 50%, which is huge. So understanding this, that if you are on all the time, first of all, if you are on, you probably know that if you go from one thing to the next, and you don't even realize that those are mundane tasks, There are just not really tasks that are giving you a big leap, that are giving you this, how I would say, that big jump, right, in life that will change something for you and your family. You're doing these little tedious things. They require maybe a lot of your time, a lot of your focus, but they're not giving you a change that you want in your life. They, of course, burn you out. And when you go from go, go, go mode, like there is a go, you get that extra energy, right? You get that, like you feel inspired and you turn, like kind of mark these tasks off your list because, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. And what happens is, like you feel like you're doing a lot, but then you're realizing that you haven't accomplished much because you didn't learn to delegate. And this is a common thing for a lot of people. It's a common thing for entrepreneurs, and I coach women. So I can only in these episodes, guys, I can give you an example of my coaching clients, the struggles that we face and the struggles that I've been facing. And look, it happened to me. It happened to us many times when we were thinking that we working a lot, that we doing these things, but they were tedious things. Not only that, because we couldn't set up the boundaries, people would distract us. And I mentioned this in my previous episode. When we used to have gyms, we would have our offices inside and the trainers would literally go inside in our office so the work could have been done. So think about for a second. Think for a second right now. Are you being distracted throughout your work? Are you blocking your time, maybe 50 to 90 minutes at a time, when you're focusing completely on these big dreams, on these big tasks? Are you delegating enough? Do you have maybe afternoon service that takes your calls and you are not continuously getting calls? Maybe you're giving the number to your clients and sometimes it's required, right? But maybe you are at a level that this is no longer required, that maybe answering service can take the stuff from you and you're just gonna get a report, or maybe they're gonna actually schedule the call, that it's incoming call, for later. Like, how are you dividing your days? How are you dividing your weeks? And most importantly, when you come home, do you pick up the call again? Are you feeling like you need to do it more, that you need to sit down the same day and answer your emails? Because this is the problem that we all face, that we don't have the cutout time. And if we don't add the chill time, the relaxation time, the time to speak to your parents, speak to your children, speak to your spouse, sit down, relax, grab a book, go for a walk, go and do a great workout. You just all in a go-go mode. And the cortisol levels are so skyrocket that you have a problem to fall asleep. The sleep is disturbed. That's you being impacted in mentally and physically, right? So what can you do? What would be the solution? And I kind of mentioned the solutions. Maybe the solution would be that you need to schedule. That's what we did with my clients. We scheduled a certain days for her to meet the clients. And this is a common thing, like schedule your days that it's like, okay, meeting the clients, I'm not doing anything else, but in between the clients, maybe you should have 15 to 20 minutes of a break so you can kind of release yourself, take some notes from the client, prepare yourself for the next meeting, grab water. Don't skip meals, because that's another thing that most entrepreneurs do. And I hear this on the podcast. A lot of times the women entrepreneurs, they say, oh, I haven't been eating all day long. I'm starving and it's in the afternoon. They don't drink water. They skip the meals. So if you don't eat often, the energy level declines and you cannot be as productive. You cannot have a clear thinking. You cannot be really productive as you want, right? So another solution would be maybe the next days, maybe one day a week, maybe you can work from home. Maybe But a lot of times people say, well, I don't like to work from home. I don't like to stay at home because then I'm being distracted. So what I am asking you is to evaluate your distractions. Is it you feeling like the setup that you have at home, it's not working? Maybe you need to move your office somewhere else. Maybe you need to remove TV from your home. Maybe you need to have this a special device on the door, don't disturb, like I have it. Please knock, don't disturb in a meeting. Maybe you need to do this. Maybe you realize that you are constantly, I don't know, hungry and going and opening up the fridge. I've heard that too, and taking loads of food, and you can't concentrate on that one task. So I think what you need to do, if you're gonna move your place to your office to your home, you need to kind of see, okay, what am I gonna be doing that it really requires me to focus? And I will not do this otherwise at work because people distract me over there. So how can I do and accomplish this task at home? And what are the distractions? Because maybe simple distraction is just turn off your phone, put your phone away. Don't keep it close to your desks, because a lot of times people get distracted. You kind of, I would say, created out of yourself that person that constantly checks their phone and constantly responds to messages. Let me tell you, so many times I get messages in the afternoon, literally in the afternoon, and I don't respond to them till next day. Why? Because if I am with my family, if I am with my spouse, we are at home, what kind of other emergency can I possibly have? We no longer have physical locations of bootcamp and boxing. We run our business from home. So if somebody would need you, they're not gonna text you. They're gonna call you because it's an emergency. Then you can pick up. If you know that this is the person, maybe, I don't know, the building or somebody is an unusual phone call that you need to pick up. But otherwise, why are you picking up the call when there is no fires to be put down? Because that's what we do. A lot of times you're putting down those little fires instead of concentrating on the big ones. And it affects your relationship with your loved one, affects the relationship with your spouse, because you are always on the phone, not distracted, and you can never accomplish anything. So I think the solution out of all of this is to, guys, first of all, look at your calendar, look at your schedule, prepare yourself. We've said this many times. On Saturday, on Sunday, at the end of the week. If Friday works for you, go for it. But be prepared for that week. And schedule the time on your calendar that it's off. Maybe you need to block your phone from upcoming calls. Or maybe putting on your calendar, this is it. I'm leaving work. What would be the special, I would say, routine maybe that you can create when you're going to leave work and when you shutting down blinds? I love to shut down my blinds here. Turning off the computer, doing a reflection of this day. Maybe reflecting of the day would help you to summarize the day, what happened at work, and then the rest is just your personal stuff that is going to be happening here at home, or maybe doing some hobbies, or maybe going and doing a workout. That turn off button is necessary, guys, in order for us to be productive. So if I mention 50 to 90 minutes of work, that means that you write that task. What is your goal in that 90 minutes to accomplish? And then maybe you can get up. You can walk for a few minutes. You can get a water, whatever that is. Maybe then you have to make a call. And this is going to be actually a different mode, different modality, different energy, because you're getting on a phone instead of sitting on a computer. So I hope that this is getting somewhere here, because, guys, we cannot go all day. We're not meant to do a 50 to 60 hours work week. There is a grind time. There is a kill time. But a kill time has to have also a time that you turn yourself off, which means you need to have a good night's sleep, which we talk about this many times. When you need to and I'm going to discuss this in some other episode, but you need to have a good night's sleep. You need to be able to fall asleep and grow through all these stages of your sleep, the deep sleep, the light sleep, right? The REM. There will be a time in your sleep when you're going to be also awake. And I'm telling you this from experience of looking at my phone, and my phone's been giving me these scores of, excellence. But it took me a while to actually apply this, because a lot of times I would be like, nope, doesn't matter how I slept, I am exhausted and I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. I'm gonna be talking about this a little bit deeper in my other episodes, but today I adjust more. I adjust based on how I feel and how my recovery has been, and I make sure that I don't work till late hours unless we're doing a kill day, when we decide this is a specific time when we're going to decide that, you know what, today we're going to work longer and tomorrow we're going to have a completely off button. That's off. Your off button can be in the afternoon, and you should have every single day time off with your family, and you should have time off on the weekends. You can do some work for your work, for your business, but it cannot be constant grind, especially if you don't see these big results coming. So what I'm saying by this, if you are in a kill mode, like, let's put it this way. Let's give an example of actors, right? They get a role and they have to learn this role. So they study, there is recording, there's nonstop. They go on set and this goes for such a long hours, right? But they know that they may be only gonna put a month or 2 months like this, but they still have to have enough sleep time and enough recovery, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to think straight. Because this was what happens, guys. Our sleep is impacted. We get more brain fog, especially women, and we cannot concentrate. We're being exhausted. So this is, I think it's a huge and valuable lesson. And what brings me into mind is the sentence that Bruce Lee said: "It is not daily increase, but daily decrease hacks away at the non-essential." And I think it's such a powerful statement, guys, that we should be all looking at it here at our lives. Like, how are you really being towards your loved ones? Do you have time for them? Do you have time for yourself? Did you designate this time? And look, these topics will be kind of sinking through what we talk about here, because one is connected to the other. The turn off button will be connected to your productivity. Then the turn off button would be connected with your sleep. Your sleep will be connected with your morning routine, right? This is all, one cannot exist without the other. So, and I have to tell you, it helped me so much to slow down and take these moments, these turn off buttons. Like yesterday, for instance, and I'm going to give an example exactly from how my life was. Today is the kill mode. We're recording, preparing, building my membership site for my members. Yesterday was a skill, but skill can be also mixed with chill, because I went outside. I was laying on the sun with my book and literally reading, read probably like 40 to 50 pages. Then we went shooting. Then we went to jiu-jitsu. We worked out. I recorded tons of videos when I was working out. It was amazing skill day with also a chill. We were learning new patterns, because I went for the first time to do no-gi jiu-jitsu. This was the first time for me, because I've done jiu-jitsu with with ghee, and yesterday was the no ghee, and I loved it. And my body, my brain had to learn all these different moves, and it was so difficult, guys, because it's like a move. This is your brain has to make the connection with your body, and all these moves are unfamiliar for me. So it was a really amazing day. And the shooting, practicing the shooting, we are not used to shooting, but also learning. It's still a learning because I'm not there yet. That means that I need to learn. So, and that was a beautiful day. And this day, yesterday, gave me that power, empowered me to do something better today, to be more on a kill mode, on a focus mode, to accomplish, to do these things, because I need to get these things done. And I truly know that if you're going to apply this, but you need to sit down with a pen and paper, and you need to think about your life. Otherwise, if you're just listening to this episode and you go to the next one and you keep on absorbing this information, it's not going to get you anywhere. So what I would like you to do right now is to grab your journal or grab your pen and paper and write all your responsibilities, including the professional and personal. Everything. I mean, including if you're taking care of someone, or if you're going in, like Ivanka was taking care of our neighbor coop and going and cleaning the coop and taking care of the chickens, everything. Everything has to be on that schedule, on your list. And then what are you going to do? You can respond to this episode below, or you can send me an email. And I always leave an email below this episode, every single episode. You can write me an email. And why I'm asking you to do this? You if you don't want to, you don't need to email me. You can email your friend. You can email if you have a coach. You can email anyone that will look from above on that list and see how much you do. You can also schedule the days and say Monday, whatever, Monday to Friday, this is your responsibility. Saturday, Sunday is this. Also, write down, this is important, of things that you've been missing in your life, things that used to matter for you. Maybe it's some hobby, maybe it's a workout, maybe it's playing tennis, maybe it's shooting, whatever there is, write it down also, because in an off button, you can place these things for yourself, these hobbies that maybe you've forgotten about. So write those down also on that piece of paper and ask someone for an opinion. Again, ask not just one person, ask 2 people, 3 people, ask your kids, because kids can see things better sometimes than the adults see. Because why? Because they are free. They have no extra responsibilities in their lives, and they're gonna realize that maybe you're taking too much on your plate, because my kids already told me many times, and I had to adjust. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it going to be perfect? I don't think so, but I'm striving to be better. So I think making a list like this, it's gonna help you and allow someone else to look at that list. And if you want me to look at your list, I would love to, and look from that high up perspective on what you do and how is your life. You can also add your routines. You can add your routines, what time you get up and what time you go to sleep. You can also write it down to me that what has been the biggest struggle right now in all of this. What was really why you cannot, as an entrepreneur, you cannot have that turn off button? What is the feeling associated with the fact that you can't turn off the button? Is it because you think that you're not ambitious enough? Is it because you need to provide for your family? You are the only one and you think that you're not going to do it. The world's going to collapse. What is it? Go deep. Peel the layers, peel the onion, like we say it. And then once you know, write the reflection. And I guarantee you a lot of times the answer is within us, but it's so good to ask other people on feedback, ask other people to look from above, because I guarantee you that people will tell you need to delegate more. You need to say more no to more things. And I remember, like today, this brings me up to another person that really, how weird is this that I remember this conversation. This person was coming to our gym. She was a great client. She was there every day. And I remember standing in our kitchen. We had like a kitchenette that people would love to hang out before the workouts or after the workouts. And we would serve coffee there, and it was just cool. And I remember looking face to face to her, and she was sharing her struggles with me, that she is always on. She's always there for everyone. And she's suffering with having her off button. She's suffering with having a time for herself because she's always available. And she was telling me how she has that friend that calls her every single day with a problem or wanting something from her. So there are two things: problem or wanting something from her. Usually was drive me somewhere there, pick me up. Like, no, that's not your responsibility. If there is a once in a while situation like this that you need to help, yes, but this is an ongoing thing. When you sacrifice your life, when you sacrifice your family, your relationship with your loved ones, with your spouse, with the closest people, it's absolutely not. And when you sacrifice the relationship with the most person, which is you, because if you do not have a good relationship with yourself, you won't have a good relationship with others. So guys, again, I hope that you got some good value here in this episode. So thank you so much for watching. And remember that the superhero is within you. You just need to rediscover it. May your discipline and energy and confidence be unstoppable. May your passion and curiosity be endless. May your enthusiasm be infectious. And your inner glow shine through the projects and creations of others. Make sure that you go out there and put the hard work of yourself to the universe. I make and I create the change for myself, and I know that the universe is awaiting you. No excuses.